All right, let's jump right in.
That's good.
Today, we're diving deep into Patrick Bet-David's Your Next 5 Moves.
Mm-hmm.
We've got excerpts from the book,
Yeah.
and we're on a mission, right,
Yeah.
to pull out those golden nuggets, that wisdom from his entrepreneurial journey
Absolutely.
you can actually use, in your own life.
Yeah, I think what's great about that, David, is
Yeah.
he doesn't just tell you what to do.
Right.
He really focuses on the why behind it all and, connecting the dots between his experiences and these strategic frameworks that anyone can use.
Yeah, and he starts off right away with a really interesting story about how he used to suffer from panic attacks.
Right.
And what caused those.
Yeah.
Indecision.
Yeah.
So he had to learn how to process issues and take ownership.
Yeah, processing issues, that's a huge one, right?
Huge.
Instead of blaming, all these external events, right? He starts to see himself as both the problem and indeed the solution.
He has this great example of Joe Rogan
Okay.
dealing with a business partnership issue.
Okay, yeah.
And Rogan, he just owned it.
Yeah.
He was like, I bought this problem.
Yeah. Taking ownership is the first step
Right.
to actually finding the solution, right?
Right.
It's so easy to fall into that blame trap.
Oh, absolutely.
But ultimately, it's about recognizing your role in all of it.
Well, and then to actually help you do that,
Mm-hmm.
Bet-David gives us this tool.
Okay.
It's his solve for X methodology.
Break that down for me.
So it's like this mental algorithm
Okay.
that you can use for any challenge, right?
Mm-hmm.
First, you define the problem.
Got it.
You isolate that root cause, that's your X.
Okay.
Then you create a plan to tackle it.
Okay, so you're not just putting a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah.
You're going deep
You're going to the root.
to the root of the problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he gives this really interesting example of Charlie, who's just, unhappy at work.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're trying to figure out, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's his X?
Right.
And it turns out, for him, it was a lack of physical activity.
Oh, interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love that example because it shows that this solve for X, it applies to so many areas of life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I want you to think, as we go through this, what's a problem that you're facing?
Yeah.
Could solve for X help?
It's a great tool.
Yeah. Keep that in mind.
I love that.
Now,
Yeah.
Bet-David also makes this really key point
Okay.
about teamwork. He's like, you can't achieve big things alone.
You need other people.
You need a team.
Got it.
But he argues that building a strong team, it's not necessarily about finding people with the exact same skills as you.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
It's about finding people who share your values, but will challenge your thinking.
Interesting.
He even compares a key advisor to the conciliere
Oh, wow.
in a mob family.
This conciliere. Okay.
Yeah. And he brings up Patty McCord at Netflix,
Okay, yeah.
who wasn't afraid to challenge Reed Hastings.
Right. The CEO.
The CEO, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even on something as crucial as a big speech,
Oh.
she had the courage to say, here's what I would do differently.
Yeah. That's powerful.
That's so valuable, right?
It is.
To have somebody who will give you that honest feedback.
Yeah, someone in your corner who's
Yeah.
not afraid to,
Yeah.
say the hard things sometimes.
Right.
Okay, so.
So think about
Yeah.
who plays that role for you.
Yeah.
Who's that person that you really trust
Mm-hmm.
to give you that honest, even if sometimes difficult, feedback?
Right. And are you cultivating
Yeah.
those relationships?
Are you appreciating those people?
Exactly.
Now,
Right.
building the right team,
Mhm.
it goes beyond just those advisors.
Right.
It's also about attracting and retaining top talent.
Absolutely.
And Bet-David brings up this concept of granting equity
Interesting.
as a way to build that team.
Okay.
He links it to the American dream,
Mm-hmm.
the idea of ownership.
Makes sense.
He talks about how even a small amount of equity
Yeah.
can make a huge difference.
Right. It changes their whole perspective. Right.
It's not just a job anymore.
It's not just a job.
They have a stake.
Yeah, a stake in the company.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he acknowledges that, especially if you're not at a large scale,
Right.
the idea of giving away equity,
Yeah.
it might feel a little daunting.
Yeah, of course.
But he encourages us to really think about it,
Mhm.
weigh the benefits.
Long term.
Yeah, long term, right.
Yeah, okay.
More motivated employees,
Mhm.
higher retention, stronger partnership.
So what are those potential downsides
He
to
gets-
not sharing equity?
Yeah, are you potentially missing out
Right.
on attracting top talent?
Yeah, exactly.
Because they want that ownership stake.
They want skin in the game.
Right, right.
Okay, so.
Here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Bet-Daivid, he challenges this idea
Mm-hmm.
that a good company culture means everyone's always getting along.
Okay.
He actually says that friction
Oh.
could be a good thing.
Really?
Yes.
Friction. Okay.
She's talking about healthy friction, of
Yes.
course.
Right. Right.
He argues that productive disagreement,
Mm-hmm.
when handled the right way,
Wow.
can spark creativity,
Okay.
learning, and ultimately growth.
Interesting.
And he uses the example of Joe Rogan,
Okay. Yeah.
giving very direct feedback
Mm-hmm.
to Brendan Schaub
Yeah.
about his commitment to fighting.
Okay.
It's tough feedback.
Yeah, but it came from a good place, right?
Right, it did. It came from a place of care,
Mm-hmm.
and it pushed Schaub to think about his goals.
So it's about, embracing those tougher conversations.
Right. Are we doing that?
Are we avoiding conflict altogether?
Right. Are we just shying away from it?
Right, yeah.
Or are we creating environments
Yeah.
where that healthy friction can exist?
Okay, yeah.
Now, to help us understand,
Yeah.
these different levels of growth in a business, Bet-Daivid introduces his strategy quadrant.
Strategy quadrant.
Okay, so he breaks it down into 4 areas.
Mm-hmm.
Biz dev,
Okay.
optimization,
Got it.
next, innovative campaign,
All right.
and expansion scaling.
Okay, so 4 quadrants.
4 quadrants.
Got it.
So with biz dev, think about like linear growth, right?
Okay, yeah.
Closing deals, growing your existing accounts.
Right.
But Bet-Daivid, he says you can't just stay there.
You can't get complacent.
No, you can't. You have to move into these other areas
Okay.
to really achieve exponential growth.
Got it.
So he gives the example of Bally Total Fitness.
Okay.
Offering those 0 down payment memberships. That was a really disruptive move.
Yeah, I was
in the fitness industry.
next innovative campaign type of move.
Right. And then he also highlights Continental Airlines
Yeah.
incentivizing on-time departures,
Interesting.
which took them from the bottom to the top.
Wow, that's powerful.
And customer satisfaction.
Optimization.
That's a great example of optimization.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's Amazon Prime.
Oh, of course.
That was a game-changing, next innovative campaign
Absolutely.
that revolutionized how we shop online.
Yeah, it really did.
So Bet-Daivid challenges us,
Mm-hmm.
to analyze our own ventures.
Yeah, where are we at?
Yeah, are we stuck in that biz dev mode?
Right.
Or are we actively looking for those opportunities?
Those innovative campaigns.
Right, to expand and scale.
Yeah, I like that.
Now, let's talk about raising capital.
Okay.
Bet-Daivid, he discusses the pros and cons
Mm-hmm.
of seeking external funding
Mm-hmm.
versus bootstrapping your business.
Right, which is right for you.
Exactly. And he shares this great story about Jack Ma,
Okay.
the founder of Alibaba,
Yeah.
who secured a $20 million investment
Wow.
from SoftBank
Okay.
after a meeting that wasn't focused on the financials,
Mm-hmm.
but on their shared vision.
That's interesting.
Right. It
Yeah.
really highlights how important it is to connect
Mm-hmm.
with investors who believe in you, in your vision.
Yeah, in the big picture.
Right.
Not
But
just the numbers.
the short-term
Yeah.
gains.
Yeah.
But Bet-Daivid also acknowledges that
Right.
raising capital isn't always the right move.
Right. There are downsides.
There are downsides.
Yeah.
You might lose control.
Right.
There's that pressure to deliver.
Mm-hmm. To get those returns.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So before you, jump into that world of fundraising,
Yeah.
ask yourself,
Hmm.
do you really understand
Yeah.
the different types of investors
Right.
and what they're looking for? Have you thoroughly vetted your business plan?
Mm.
Have you thought through all the implications?
Yeah. Have you really done your homework?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, another thing that Bet-Daivid really emphasizes is momentum.
Momentum.
He says that often when everything feels like it's falling apart,
Oh.
it's actually a sign of growth.
Really? That's interesting.
It's about embracing that discomfort,
Okay.
pushing through that fear,
Mm-hmm.
and using that as fuel
Okay.
to move forward.
So how do you actually do that?
So to navigate those moments,
Mm-hmm.
he introduces these 5 deadly sins of entrepreneurs.
Okay. The 5 deadly sins.
Yeah, and these are like the
Mm.
pitfalls that
Yeah.
can kill your momentum.
Got it.
So things like being too cheap
Okay.
or splurging unwisely.
Right. Finding that balance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Letting the wrong people influence you.
Mm-hmm. Your circle is important.
Your circle's so important.
Yeah.
Having that royalty mentality.
Right. That sense of entitlement.
Right. Refusing to adapt.
You have to be flexible.
You have to be flexible. Yeah.
Mm.
And constantly comparing yourself to others.
Oh, that's a big one.
That's a big one, right?
Yeah.
And to really drive home this point, he shares this really cautionary tale
Okay.
of Morton Downey Jr.,
Okay.
the talk show host, who, he achieved massive success,
Yeah.
but he self-destructed.
Oh, wow.
And his story is such a stark reminder of how quickly momentum can shift.
Yeah.
And the importance of staying grounded, maintaining discipline, avoiding those pitfalls.
Yeah. So are we letting fear hold us back?
Right. Are we surrounding ourselves with the right people?
Exactly.
Are we adaptable?
These are big questions.
They're essential questions for anyone on this entrepreneurial journey.
Okay, now let's
shift gears a little bit and dive into data.
And analytics.
Yeah, and analytics. Bet-Daivid, he emphasizes how important it is to use data to track those key performance indicators.
Right. You can't just go on gut feeling. Yeah.
You got to have the numbers,
What's going on?
Okay.
He even brings up Billy Bean and Moneyball.
Oh, yeah.
Where data-driven decision-making
it
revolutionized baseball.
Yeah.
So, Bet-Daivid talks about codifying that knowledge, making it transferable so you can scale.
Okay, so what are those key metrics in your ventures?
What are you tracking?
Are you tracking them effectively?
Are you using data to make smart decisions?
Yeah, using data to your advantage.
And he even suggests, hiring a Moneyball Paul DePodesta for your business.
Interesting. So
someone who's a predictive analytics expert.
Okay, investing in that expertise.
Right. Yeah. Now, here's a point that might surprise you.
Bet-Daivid says you need a healthy dose of paranoia.
Paranoia.
Okay, in business.
Okay.
Even when things are going well.
Even when things are going well. All right.
Yeah. He reminds us that markets are constantly changing.
Yeah. Someone's always
trying to disrupt things.
Yeah.
He uses the example of the original Fortune 500 companies. Only a small percentage of them are still on that list.
Wow.
So, it's a reminder that success is never guaranteed. You got to stay vigilant.
Stay vigilant, yeah.
And he talks about the importance of strategic alliances, just like Steve Jobs partnering with Bill Gates when Apple was struggling.
Interesting.
And he emphasizes learning from mentors.
Okay, yeah.
Who've been there, done that.
People that have been in the trenches.
Yeah, and he even breaks down the different types of mentors, Like some mentors have that theoretical knowledge.
Right.
Some have witnessed success.
They've seen it happen.
Right. But then there are those who have applied that knowledge to get real world results.
So those are like the trifecta.
Trifecta, yeah.
They have it all.
Yeah, they have the knowledge, they've got the experience, and they have the proven track record.
Yeah.
And Bet-Daivid really emphasizes surrounding ourselves with people who can give us that valuable guidance.
Absolutely.
And help us navigate this ever-changing business landscape.
That's crucial.
Yeah. And now let's talk about taking on Goliath.
Taking on Goliath, okay.
Competing against those big established players in your market.
Not easy.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
And Bet-Daivid acknowledges that, it's not for everyone.
Not for the faint of heart.
No, but for those who are up for the challenge.
Yeah.
He offers 12 strategies for beating Goliath.
Okay, 12 strategies, all right.
Yeah. And he starts by saying, you need to know your weaknesses, as well as the weaknesses of your competitor.
Right. Know yourself.
Know yourself.
Know your enemy.
Know your enemy.
Yeah.
Exploit their vulnerabilities.
Take advantage of those weaknesses.
Yeah, and play to your unique strengths.
Right. Play to your strengths.
And in today's world, he says social media is key.
Social media is huge.
You can control the narrative.
Right.
And shape public perception.
In a way you couldn't before.
In a way that wasn't possible before.
Yeah.
So he encourages us to be bold, engaging, authentic in our online presence.
And to think about.
And to think about how we can use social media to shape our own story.
Right, instead of letting others
define us.
Define it for us.
So think about it. Are you using social media strategically?
Right.
Are you being bold enough?
Yeah. Are you connecting
with your audience
authentically?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, another crucial skill that David highlights is negotiation. Negotiation. Okay.
He emphasizes that preparation is key.
Preparation is everything.
Preparation is everything.
Yeah.
You need to understand leverage.
Right. Who has more?
Who has more to gain or lose?
Gain or lose.
And he shares these anecdotes about his interactions with mobsters.
Okay, yeah.
Highlighting the importance of planning.
Planning is huge.
Planning is huge. Anticipating your opponent's moves.
Right. Knowing what they're going to do.
Yeah. And staying calm.
Under pressure.
Under pressure.
Yeah.
Because,
emotions can derail things.
Derail everything.
Yeah.
So he encourages us to apply those principles
to
all of our negotiations.
In business and in life.
In business and in life, are we doing our homework?
Are we approaching things strategically?
Are we understanding the power dynamics?
Those are great questions.
And finally, Bet-Daivid talks about cultivating power.
Power, okay.
And staying battle-tested.
Staying battle-tested, all right.
So he introduces this powerful formula for gaining power.
All right, lay it on me.
Outwork.
Okay.
Out-improve. Out-strategize. And outlast.
Outlast the competition.
Yeah.
Got it.
Your competition.
Okay.
And he illustrates this
Yeah.
with the story of Andrew Bynum,
Okay.
the NBA player, who had all this talent,
Yeah.
but ultimately self-destructed.
Oh, wow.
And Bynum's downfall. It reminds us that talent alone isn't enough.
You need more than talent.
You got to stay humble.
Right.
You got to respect the game.
Yeah.
And constantly strive to improve.
Be better today than you were yesterday.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so are you...
So are you playing to win?
Are you pushing yourself to improve?
Are you surrounding yourself with those right people?
Those are powerful questions.
They are.
Yeah.
Okay, now, before we dive too far into the strategies and tactics,
right.
Bet-Daivid, he kind of takes a step back and he emphasizes the importance of self-awareness.
Self-awareness, okay.
You have to know yourself.
Got it.
Before you can conquer the world.
You can't build a business.
Right.
Or a fulfilling life.
Your fulfilling life, right?
If you don't know who you are.
Right.
And what you value.
He challenges us to define who we want to be.
Okay.
What really matters to us.
What matters most, yeah.
He even suggests visualizing our ideal life.
Interesting.
Using imagery.
Okay.
Role models. Right?
Yeah, to help you.
To help us embody that future truth.
Embody that future truth, okay.
And he provides these thought-provoking questions like, what does our best life look like?
Yeah.
What are our non-negotiables?
What are we willing to sacrifice?
What are we willing to sacrifice?
Yeah.
Those are tough questions.
They are, but
Right.
they're essential.
They're essential.
For building a life that you truly want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And Bet-Daivid, he doesn't shy away from the power of negative experiences.
No, the power of negative experience.
He encourages us to use our haters and our doubters as fuel.
Use them as fuel, right?
Channel that pain into motivation.
Yeah, I like that.
And he shares his own story.
Yeah.
Of being denied a promotion. And how that rejection just lit a fire under him.
So setbacks and rejections, they can be catalysts.
They can be powerful catalysts for growth.
Okay.
It's about shifting our perspective, right? And finding the opportunity.
Those moments of adversity.
Yeah, because it's all about perspective, right?
It is. It is. And he talks about living our future truth.
Living our future truth. Okay.
Not waiting for success to arrive before we embody
the
person we want to be.
Yeah.
In
accordance with our aspirations.
Those aspirations.
Yeah. Now, Bet-Daivid also encourages us to examine our blind spots.
Blind spots, okay.
Those areas where we lack self-awareness.
We all have them.
We all have them.
Yeah.
He tells his story about how early in his career he came across as arrogant in meetings.
Oh, okay.
He didn't understand his audience.
So it's about being open to feedback.
Being open to feedback, yeah.
Even if it's
tough.
Tough to hear.
And he really emphasizes surrounding ourselves with people who can help us see those blind spots.
Who will be honest with us.
Who will be honest, yeah.
Okay.
And also studying our successes and our failures.
Right.
Looking for patterns.
What worked? What didn't work?
Yeah, what can we learn?
Yeah.
Now, once we have that better understanding of ourselves, Bet-Daivid encourages us to choose a career path that aligns with our strengths and our values.
Okay.
He uses this concept of game selection.
Game selection.
Choosing a market where you have an advantage.
Okay. Where you can thrive.
Where you can thrive, yeah.
Got it.
But he also talks about being an entrepreneur.
An entrepreneur, okay.
Thriving within a company that fosters innovation and empowers its employees.
Yeah.
And he shares his own experience working for a company that didn't really appreciate his entrepreneurial spirit.
So it wasn't the right fit?
It wasn't the right fit.
Yeah.
And that ultimately led him
Right.
to start his own venture.
Okay, so it's about finding that right
It's about finding that right fit,
that
where your
fit.
talents are valued, your ambitions are supported.
Vibrations are supported.
Now,
Yeah.
even if you choose to start your own business, Bet-Daivid reminds us
Yeah.
that success is rarely linear.
It's not a straight line.
It's not a straight line. There are ups and downs.
It's ups and downs.
He encourages us to not judge entrepreneurs by the final product, but to recognize that everybody faces struggles.
Everybody faces it.
Everybody faces setbacks.
Yeah.
And he shares his own story of overcoming adversity.
All right. Welcome back to our deep dive into Patrick Bet-David's Your Next 5 Moves.
Yeah, in the last part, we really dug into those foundational elements of success.
Like self-awareness, taking ownership.
Building that strong team.
Yeah, and developing a strategic mindset.
Right. And we also talked about those 5 deadly sins.
Oh, yeah. The pitfalls that can really kill your momentum.
Right. It's good to check ourselves, you know.
Absolutely. Make sure we're not falling into those traps.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, let's shift gears a little bit and dive into Bet-David's 5 Moves framework.
5 moves, all right.
This is his roadmap for achieving lasting success.
Okay.
And remember, this isn't just about business.
Right.
These moves apply to all areas of life.
All areas, okay.
So it's like a game plan
Okay.
for personal and professional growth, taking us from where we are to where we want to be.
Okay, so what's the first move?
All right, so move number 1 is master knowing yourself.
Okay. Master knowing yourself.
And this really echoes what we talked about earlier.
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness is the foundation.
Right.
You can't build a successful business or the fulfilling life
Right.
if you don't know who you are.
If you don't know yourself and what you value.
Okay, so it's more than just knowing your strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, it's going deeper than that.
Okay.
Understanding your values,
Yeah.
your motivations, your aspirations.
It's like taking a personal inventory.
It is. It's like getting to know yourself
Yeah.
on a much deeper level.
So you can make choices that align with your authentic self.
Exactly.
All right, so from that place of self-awareness, we move on to the second move.
Move number 2 is master the ability to reason.
Master the ability to reason, okay?
So this is where we develop our critical thinking skills.
It's about learning to analyze information objectively,
Okay.
seeing beyond the surface, identifying patterns, and solving problems effectively.
So it's about thinking for yourself.
It is. It's about not just accepting everything you hear, but
Right.
following the crowd.
Right. Thinking critically.
Thinking critically, making sound judgments based on evidence and logic.
So how do we do that?
Well, Bet-David, he challenges us
Yeah.
to question our assumptions,
Okay.
to look at things from different angles,
Okay.
and to be willing to change our minds when presented with new information.
So it's a muscle.
It is. It's something we need to develop.
Okay. That ability to think critically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So once we've mastered
Yeah.
knowing ourselves and reasoning, we move on to the third move.
Okay. What's that?
Master building the right team.
Master building the right team.
Yeah.
This is key.
This is crucial, and it builds on what we discussed earlier.
Right. About surrounding yourself with the right people.
Exactly. People who share your values but challenge your thinking.
Yeah.
It's recognizing you can't achieve great things alone.
You need that support system.
You need a team.
You need a team.
Absolutely.
And Bet-Daivid, he argues that a strong team is the foundation
It is. It's the foundation
for any successful venture.
for anything you want to do.
Okay.
Whether you're starting a business, leading a movement, or just trying to achieve a personal goal.
Right. And it's not just about finding those people.
No, it's about cultivating those relationships.
Communicating effectively.
Creating a culture of trust and respect.
Okay. So once we've mastered building the right team,
Yeah.
what's next?
Move number 4 is master strategy to scale.
Master strategy to scale, right?
So this is where we start to think about the bigger picture.
Okay.
Developing a roadmap for growth
Mm-hmm.
and creating a sustainable model for success.
So it's about having a vision.
It is. It's about knowing where you want to go and then figuring out the steps to get there.
Okay.
It's about identifying those market opportunities, understanding your competitive landscape,
Right.
and crafting a strategy that sets you apart.
So Bet-Daivid, he emphasizes having a plan.
Absolutely, you need a plan,
Okay.
but also being flexible,
Being able to adapt.
adapting as circumstances change.
So being strategic, but also agile.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
All right, and finally,
Okay, the 5th move.
move number 5 is master power plays.
Master power plays. This sounds a little intimidating,
I know, it sounds a little intense,
right?
but it's not about manipulating people or
Right.
being ruthless.
Right.
It's about understanding the dynamics of power,
Okay.
building influence,
Yeah.
negotiating effectively,
Okay.
and navigating those complexities of human relationships.
Okay, so it's about using power for good.
It is. It's about understanding that power exists in all aspects of life
Hmm.
and that learning to wield it effectively
Right.
is essential for success.
Right.
It's about building your own power base, but also understanding how to work within those existing power structures.
So Bet-Daivid reminds us that power isn't inherently good or bad.
Right. It's a tool,
It's a tool.
and it can be used for good or for bad.
Okay, and we want to use it for good.
Absolutely. We want to use our influence to create positive change.
Right, to help others.
To make a difference.
Okay, so what I really like about this 5 moves, a framework, is that Bet-Daivid, he doesn't just present these moves in the abstract.
Right. He gives us concrete examples
It does.
from his own life
Right.
and from the experiences of other successful entrepreneurs.
He shares stories
He does. He shares stories
of failures,
of setbacks,
of those hard-won lessons.
making those concepts relatable
Yeah.
and showing us how they work in the real world.
Right, he doesn't just talk about it. He shows you how it's done.
Exactly. He walks the walk.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes it so powerful. Now, Bet-Daivid also challenges us to think about our own 5 moves.
Right. What are those specific actions?
Yeah, what are those key steps that we need to take,
to achieve our goals?
right, to create the life that we envision?
It's about taking ownership
Owning it.
of your journey.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's dive into some of those specific strategies.
All right, let's get tactical.
Bet-Daivid talks about controlling the narrative,
Mhm.
shaping public perception,
Building a strong personal brand.
building a strong personal brand, and he emphasizes the power of social media.
Social media is huge
It's huge.
in today's world.
So how do we use it effectively?
Well, he says we need to be strategic.
Okay.
It's not just about posting randomly or
Right.
chasing followers.
It's about having a plan.
It's about having a plan
Okay.
and being intentional.
Being intentional with our online presence.
Exactly.
All right, so what does that look like in practice?
Well, Bet-Daivid, he encourages us to be bold,
Okay.
to be authentic,
To be ourselves
to be ourselves, to share our unique perspectives.
and not be afraid to stand out.
Not be afraid to stand out, to be different.
It's about crafting that personal brand
It is. It's about
Oh.
reflecting your values, your expertise.
and your unique voice.
Yeah, your unique voice.
And in a world where information is so readily available,
Mhm.
building a strong personal brand can be a real differentiator.
It can. It can really set you apart.
Yeah. Another key strategy Bet-Daivid emphasizes is staying ahead of the curve,
Staying ahead of the curve.
anticipating trends.
Yeah, because things are changing so fast.
Things are changing so quickly.
The world is evolving.
He reminds us that what worked yesterday
Right.
might not work tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So he encourages us to be lifelong learners.
Lifelong learners, to always be growing,
Always be drawing, yeah.
expanding your knowledge,
Expanding your knowledge, right?
refining your skills.
So how do we do that?
Well, he suggests
Yeah.
reading books,
Okay.
attending conferences, taking courses.
Okay. Connecting with experts in your field.
Yeah.
And just constantly seeking out new experiences.
New experiences that challenge you.
Exactly.
He even suggests setting aside a learning budget,
A learning budget. I like that.
both in terms of time and money.
Yeah. Make it a priority.
Make it a priority.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he also stresses the importance of not just consuming information passively,
Right.
but actually applying what you learn.
Putting it into action.
Putting it into action, seeing what works.
Testing it out, experimenting.
Experimenting, absolutely.
Yeah. Bet-Daivid, he talks about the importance of building a strong network,
Building a network, yeah.
surrounding ourselves with people who can support us, challenge us, and help us achieve our goals.
So mentors, advisors.
Mentors, advisors,
Strategic partners.
strategic partners,
Investors.
investors, other successful individuals.
People who can offer guidance, insights, and connections.
It's about recognizing that we can't do it all alone.
Absolutely. You need a team. You need a team, right?
Yeah.
And so he encourages us to be proactive in building our network.
Attending industry events.
Right. Joining professional organizations.
Reaching out to people you admire.
Yeah,
And he reminds us that
Sure.
building relationships takes effort.
it does. It takes time.
But the payoff can be huge.
It can be huge, yeah.
And he also talks about Reciprocity.
Reciprocity.
Finding ways to add value to your network.
Okay, giving back.
Giving back, contributing to the success of others.
So it's not just about what we can get.
Right.
It's about what we can give.
It's about building genuine relationships,
Right.
fostering a spirit of collaboration,
Okay.
and creating a network where everyone wins.
Where everybody supports each other.
Exactly.
Now, let's talk about negotiation.
Negotiation, okay.
It's a crucial skill
It is. It's essential
of success in any field.
for anything you want to do.
Okay, so
Bet-Daivid, he draws on his experience
Mhm.
in the financial services industry.
right, where negotiation is a daily reality.
It is. It's part of the game.
Right.
And he shares his insights into the psychology of persuasion,
Okay.
the dynamics of leverage,
Right.
the art of closing deals.
So he emphasizes preparation.
Preparation is key.
Preparation is
Yeah, you got to do your research,
research, understanding your counterpart.
understanding their needs and motivations.
Right.
It's not about going in blind.
No, it's about having a strategy.
It's about having a plan
Okay.
and being prepared to navigate those complexities
Right, of those human interactions.
of human interaction.
Yeah.
And he also talks about building rapport,
Okay.
establishing trust,
Building trust, yeah.
creating that collaborative atmosphere
Right.
that fosters those win-win outcomes.
It's not about trying to outsmart
No, it's not about
or overpower the other person.
being a bully.
Yeah.
It's about finding solutions that benefit everyone.
Okay.
And he even suggests some specific techniques,
Okay, like what?
like anchoring.
Establishing a starting point
Okay.
that influences the rest of the discussion.
Okay.
Framing.
Framing.
Presenting information in a way that highlights the benefits
Okay.
and creating a sense of urgency
To get things moving.
to encourage action.
Okay, so it's about developing those skills.
It is. It's about
Yeah.
being able to effectively communicate your value
Right. Build consensus and achieve your goals.
while creating value for others.
Now, we can't talk about success without talking about setbacks.
Right, because there will be challenges.
Challenges are inevitable.
They are, you will face setbacks.
Right. So what do we do when that happens?
Well, one of the most important things Bet-Daivid emphasizes
Yeah.
is the ability to overcome adversity,
Okay, to bounce back.
to bounce back, to be resilient.
So he talks about developing a thick skin.
Not letting criticism or rejection derail you.
Right, because not everybody's going to support our vision.
Exactly, and that's okay.
Okay.
So what do you do? Yeah.
Well, he encourages us to view failure as a learning opportunity,
Learning opportunity.
to extract valuable lessons from your mistakes.
Okay, so failure isn't the opposite of success.
Right. It's part of the process.
Okay, so it's about learning,
It's about learning,
adjusting our course,
coming back stronger
coming back stronger.
and wiser.
He reminds us that success is rarely a straight line.
It's not. There are ups and downs.
There are those detours.
And those setbacks and challenges,
Right.
they shape our character.
Right.
They build our resilience.
And ultimately, they make us stronger.
They do. They make us stronger.
And he also emphasizes seeking support.
Yeah, because you don't have to go through it alone.
Right, surrounding ourselves with people who believe in us,
Who encourage us
who encourage us
and who help us stay motivated.
when things get tough.
When things get tough, exactly.
So it's about building that network of support.
It is. It's about knowing
Yeah.
that you're not alone
You're not alone.
and that seeking help
Is a sign of strength.
is a sign of strength.
It's not a weakness.
Exactly.
Now,
Yeah.
Bet-Daivid also dives into the psychological aspects of success.
It's a mental game.
The mental game.
Okay.
The mindsets, the habits, the beliefs.
It's all connected.
So he talks about the power of positive thinking.
Positive thinking, your thoughts become your reality.
Our thoughts shape our reality.
Exactly.
So he encourages us to reframe those negative thoughts.
Yeah, challenge those limiting beliefs
Right. That hold us back.
that hold us back. Yeah.
And cultivate that sense of optimism.
Optimism and self-efficacy.
Self-efficacy, yeah.
That belief in yourself.
So our mindset plays a crucial role
It does. It's a game changer.
in our ability to achieve those goals.
Absolutely.
And he also emphasizes discipline,
Discipline,
consistency,
the consistency,
setting goals,
creating plans,
taking action, even when we don't feel like it.
even when you don't feel like it.
Right. So it's about developing those habits and routines
The habits and routines.
that support our goals,
Right. That keep you on track,
that keep us on track.
even when things get tough.
Yeah. And he even suggests creating a success routine,
A success routine. I liked it.
a series of habits.
Yeah, like a ritual.
Yeah, to help you stay focused, energized.
Aligned with your goals.
All right. And finally,
Yeah.
Bet-Daivid talks about finding our purpose.
finding your purpose, your why.
Our why, that deeper meaning.
That driving force.
Right, that motivates us.
That gives you that sense of fulfillment.
So he challenges us
Yeah.
to ask ourselves those big questions.
What matters most?
What matters most? What impact do we want to make?
What's your legacy?
Right, and how can we use our talents and gifts
To make a difference.
to make a meaningful contribution?
So it's about thinking beyond
Ourselves.
material success.
Right, connecting with something larger than ourselves.
Exactly.
And he even suggests creating a personal mission statement.
A mission statement. I like that.
Articulating your purpose and values.
Yeah, your guiding principles.
Right, and so
Yeah.
it's about finding that why,
Finding your why.
that deeper motivation
That fuels your passion.
that gives us the strength to persevere.
When things get tough.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
in this part of our deep dive into Patrick Bet-David's Your Next 5 Moves, we've really explored his framework
We have. We've gone deep.
for personal and professional growth,
We talked about knowing yourself, reasoning effectively,
building a strong team, developing that roadmap,
mastering those power plays
and we've also discussed
Yeah.
those specific strategies.
for controlling the narrative,
Right, staying ahead of the curve, building that strong network,
mastering negotiation,
overcoming adversity,
cultivating that positive mindset,
finding our purpose.
and aligning our actions with our goals.
All right, so
Yeah.
as we move on to the final part of our deep dive, we'll continue to explore those practical tools and strategies
Absolutely. We'll get even more tactical.
that Bet-David offers to help you achieve your goals and create the life you envision. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into your next 5 moves.
So we've been unpacking a lot, right?
We've been through a lot.
Bet-David's framework for success.
Yeah.
And in this last part, we're going to explore some of those recurring themes and strategies that can really help you on your journey.
Sound good?
So one of the things that Bet-David emphasizes is this idea of continuous learning.
Continuous learning, okay.
He believes that you should never stop growing.
Okay.
Expanding your knowledge, refining your skills.
Always be learning.
Always be learning.
Yeah.
No matter what stage you're at
Right.
in your life or career.
It's easy to get complacent, you know?
It is.
Especially when you reach a certain level of success.
Yeah, you get comfortable.
Yeah.
But Bet-David reminds us
Yeah.
that the world is constantly changing.
Things are always evolving.
New information is emerging all the time.
So you got to stay ahead of the curve.
You got to stay ahead of the curve.
Right. So how do we do that?
Well, he encourages us to be voracious consumers of knowledge.
Okay.
Reading books,
Got that.
attending conferences, taking courses, connecting with experts in your field,
Right.
seeking out new experiences that can challenge us and help us grow.
Okay. So be a sponge.
Be a sponge, soak it all up.
Yeah.
And he even suggests setting aside a learning budget,
A learning budget. Okay.
both in terms of time and money.
Make it a priority.
Make it a priority, make it non-negotiable.
And he stresses the importance of not just passively consuming information.
Right. Don't just read a book and put it away.
Right. But actually applying what you learn.
Apply it. Put it into action.
Put it into action. See what works.
Experiment. See what happens.
Yeah.
Now, another key insight that Bet-David offers
Okay.
is the importance of finding your blue ocean.
Blue ocean.
Okay. This is a market space where you can create your own rules.
Okay.
Differentiate yourself from the competition.
So stand out from the crowd.
Stand out from the crowd and achieve sustainable success.
So find your niche.
Find your niche, that sweet spot.
Where your strengths and passions align.
Exactly.
Where you can thrive.
So how do we find that blue ocean?
Well, he talks about identifying unmet needs.
Okay.
Understanding your target audience and developing products or services that solve real problems.
Real problems that people have.
In innovative ways.
Be creative.
Be creative, be resourceful.
Think outside the box.
Think outside the box. Find those gaps
Okay.
where you can offer something unique and valuable.
And he even suggests doing market research.
Yeah, do your research.
Right.
Analyze the competitive landscape.
Okay.
Be strategic.
Be strategic and intentional.
Absolutely.
Now, something that a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with is that feeling of overwhelm.
Overwhelmed. Yeah. Too much to do, not enough time.
You feel like you're drowning.
Yeah, so what can we do about that?
Well, Bet-David, he offers some helpful strategies
Okay, great.
for managing that overwhelm.
Right.
So things like prioritizing your tasks,
Okay.
delegating effectively, and creating systems
Okay.
that streamline your operations.
So work smarter, not harder.
Exactly. Work smarter, not harder.
And he really emphasizes focusing on those highest value activities.
Right, the things that move the needle,
The things that have the biggest impact.
the 20% that gets you 80% of the results.
And delegate or outsource everything else.
Delegate, get it off your plate.
Right, you can't do it all.
You can't do it all yourself.
And he even suggests using techniques like time blocking.
Time blocking,
Batching.
eliminating distractions.
Yeah, create those focused work sessions.
Be intentional with your time.
Absolutely. Be intentional with your time and energy.
And he also talks about work-life balance.
Work-life balance, you got to take care of yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup.
You can't. You got to recharge.
So make time for yourself.
Make time for yourself. Do things you enjoy.
Right. Pursue those things that bring you joy outside of work.
It's not selfish. It's essential.
It's essential for your well-being.
And for your success.
Yeah. And another key theme
Yeah.
is building and maintaining momentum.
Momentum, that forward motion.
Keeping that energy going, even when things get tough.
Even when you face challenges.
He emphasizes the power of small wins.
Small wins, those incremental steps.
Those little victories along the way.
Celebrate those wins.
Celebrate those wins.
Recognize your progress.
Use that to fuel your motivation.
Keep moving forward.
And he talks about having a plan, but being flexible.
Yeah, being adaptable, adjusting course as needed.
Don't get discouraged.
When things don't go exactly as planned,
Because they won't.
they won't. It's part of the journey.
So maintain that persistence, that determination,
That relentless pursuit of your goals.
even when things get tough.
Even when the path gets bumpy.
Setbacks are inevitable,
They are. They're part of the process.
but it's our response to those challenges
That's what matters.
that defines our success.
Absolutely.
So develop that resilience.
That ability to bounce back,
Learn from your mistakes.
come back stronger and wiser.
Now, we can't talk about success without talking about building a personal brand.
Personal brand, your reputation.
Crafting that reputation
Yeah, showcasing your value.
that reflects your values and expertise.
And Bet-Daivid, he highlights social media
media.
as a powerful tool for building your brand.
But be strategic.
Be strategic, be intentional.
It's not just about posting randomly
Right, it's about crafting a cohesive online presence.
that aligns with your goals.
Your personal and professional goals.
Share your expertise.
Connect with your audience.
Build that reputation.
Be authentic.
Be authentic.
Let your personality shine through.
Yeah, be yourself.
Be yourself. Connect on a deeper level.
And be consistent.
Consistency is key.
Make sure your message and your actions align.
With your brand identity.
Shape your own narrative.
Don't let others define you.
And finally,
Yeah.
Bet-Daivid reminds us that true success,
True success.
it's not just about achieving our own goals,
It's about making a difference.
making a positive impact
On the world.
on the world.
Think beyond yourself.
Right.
Consider your legacy.
What do you want to leave behind?
Find ways to contribute.
To something bigger than ourselves.
Absolutely.
So identify causes you care about.
Align your giving with your values
Find ways to make a difference.
in the lives of others.
He even suggests incorporating philanthropy
Philanthropy, giving back.
into your business model.
Integrate social impact into your work.
Do good.
It's the right thing to do.
It's the right thing to do.
And it can be a powerful driver of success and fulfillment.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Patrick Bet-Daivid's Your Next 5 Moves,
Yeah.
what are some of the key takeaways for you?
For me, it's that combination of strategic thinking, continuous learning, and finding your blue ocean.
I love that.
Bet-Daivid really challenges us to think bigger
Be more intentional,
and to find those unique opportunities.
where we can make a real impact.
And for me, it's that emphasis on self-awareness.
Right.
And building a strong support system.
You can't do it alone.
You can't do it alone.
What's so inspiring about Bet-Daivid's approach is that he gives us those actionable strategies,
He does. He gives us real-world examples
a mindset that can empower us.
to achieve extraordinary results,
He challenges us to define our own version of success
to create a life that's meaningful and fulfilling.
and to make a positive impact.
And he reminds us
Yeah.
it's not about waiting for the perfect moment.
Right.
It's about taking action, learning from your experiences.
And striving to be your best.
So as you move forward on your journey,
Yeah.
remember Bet-Daivid's challenge.
Identify your 5 moves
Those key actions.
that will propel you forward.
Create the life you envision.
Embrace the journey. Be bold.
Never stop learning and growing.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Until next time.
Keep making those bold moves